Everybody wants alternative milk.
You about to get fired. You are about to get fired. Wow. Welcome to the
catch you off guard.
welcome to the last day of me having a guest. But this is Alternative Milk, the milkiest podcast this side of the Paradise Island.
I was trying to imitate all the surprises that happened in today's episode. Well, for the non-manga readers, all the surprises that happened in today's episode.
Yes, as we continue with our run on doing Attack on Titan, it's me, your host JD, and I am joined by the lovely Morgan of That's a Tough One, the podcast.
Yes.
So y'all go over there and check that out, and while you checking that out, go over to Alternative Milk's Twitter and Instagram, the gram at alternativemilkpod, and the Twitter at alternativemilk. No second I, know how to spell it. Go to the description, but I believe in all of you can figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what he's talking about, he's saying Twitter.
Twitter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm saying Twitter, I'm not saying get her.
I don't even know where you went with that one, but that's all right.
All right. But we continue the trudging along as we watch one of the best animes to ever come out.
Yeah.
Ain't no filler here, boy. They doing all meaty composition with stuff we need. In Attack on Titan, episode 79, Two Brothers.
Yeah.
And as we go through the episode, I think it's gonna be broken down, kind of as the story of seeing all the brothers in a subplot. You have Zeke and Eren, which I consider part one because it happens at the beginning of the episode prior to them meeting up. You have when they meet up, they're part two, but before that, you have Colt and Falco, and then you have our man Galliard, and talking about his brother, who we only meet for a couple scenes, but
a pretty impactful, short but impactful role in the story.
Yeah, because it ties together Galliard's plot as it ends and all that, because I mean, everybody listening to this, I'm assuming saw the episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a new Jaw Titan in a little bit.
Wow. So much happening every single episode. Every episode is just like chock full of things, and I know I say this every week, but we're just moving along on that plot, going 80 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every bite is like every minute of the episode is like a juicy bite. It's no filler.
No.
You know?
No, everything you're just paying attention the whole time. It's every scene. Okay, this is happening. This is happening, and I think the episode, besides the major plot points, does a really good job of emphasizing how brutal war is. When it's all out war, you're trying to figure out who's on your side, and there are just soldiers dying left and right, if not from gunfire, from fucking Titans throwing rocks or Titans just eating them.
Yeah, I mean, I think this episode was really brutal, emotionally brutal, physically brutal. I would say it was nice to get some of like the OG classic, Titans eating people back this episode. It was nice to see the scouts back into action doing what they do best in this episode. So it was like the best of prior seasons, like that, just that fear of the Titans, just seeing them walking amongst the houses, like that same tenseness came back of like to know that at any point they could just grab you or they could just bite down and things like that. So that was pretty cool to see that. And then of course, we're moving along in the plot too, in the storyline with Eren and Zeke, and we see how that relationship plays out.
Yeah, and just how last episode ends and how this one begins. We have the Beast Titan falling from the wall after being shot by our good old friend General McGaff. He's falling. Everybody's trying to. Eren's still trying to get to him just in case. And I guess we just focus on. We can do Eren and the first half of the episode between Eren just trying to get to Zeke. He gets the Jaw Titan coming out of nowhere, biting him in the leg. Eren has to beat the shit out of him. Like he literally
another good fight.
It was another good fight, but it was definitely a one-sided fight with Eren completely just whooping his ass. like it wasn't even close. The only thing that saved his life right there was peek, and the Cart Titan was able to get one more shot off and knock Aaron's arm off. But besides that, he was gonna get his ass whooped. Like you said, that was a great little action scene. And then you have the Armor Titan try to go over and help the Jaw Titan out, but when they touch, Galliard sees that vision from I want to say from last season, where you see Galliard's brother tell what's my name? What's my Armor Titan's name? Braun tell Reiner, just telling him that, hey, I told them to pick you because I didn't want my brother to become a Titan. You weren't good enough, bro. But I couldn't have my brother go this route and end up dying.
That was deep.
Yeah, that was some real shit. He's like, I am so sorry I did this to you.
Yeah.
Because
it's so interesting how, I really love it in any story where you write a really big power or something that people would say is like a cool power, but you attach consequences to it. And I think the last 2 seasons we've really gotten a good chance to sit with the characters and see what the consequence is of, you get this really cool power and this honor of inheriting a Titan, but it comes with the consequences of these memories like we talked about last week, and also comes with the consequences of you have a shortened lifespan. How does that impact the decisions you make? But then how does it impact the people around you? And we've been able to see, how political it gets, and how much of a mind game it is to say, well, hey, some people are sabotaging others and upholding others so that they can get certain people into these roles, whether some people it's for political gain or for war, but then for some people it's for personal reasons of, I don't want my loved one to inherit this. It's not a gift from my perspective. It's a burden or a curse even. Yes,
you're forced with the burden to know your life has a finite end, and they're used for political war tools.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, they're weapons. They're weaponized soldiers, but they're people with families, and I would imagine being in these conflicts and fighting in these wars, you get, even if you start off like a person like a Gabby, who you really believe all this foolishness, but then maybe after a certain amount of time, you're like, I don't even know, why did I sacrifice my whole life for this never ending war? Somebody else is just going to inherit it after me. So yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic to see how all these characters just kind of react and respond to this idea of inheriting Titans, and is it a gift or is it a curse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing it as the big gift, especially that the people of Marley tried to say, hey, y'all have to atone for y'all sins. Y'all can at least take on this burden and fight for us. And I'm like, why don't y'all just turn on them? Why don't y'all just tell them, no, we're not going to do that and free your people? But
yeah, I think it's just so much that they do so much good brainwashing. Of it's always going, for every one person who understands that it is a manipulation, it's another person who really thinks it's an honor.
And then if you do turn on them, they still have your family. Like, are you prepared for them to die?
Oof. Yep.
Yeah, because we saw like in the part 1 of season 4 that they were listening to when all the Titans got together and had their meeting. Like, they were listening in on that.
Yeah.
Like, would they just let y'all have secret meetings with their most powerful weapons?
Now, I guess you could make the argument of like, well, why don't they just all turn into Titans on the island and scoop up their family and take them somewhere? But then I guess you could say like, where? And you still have extended family. You even, if you care about the people of, you care about the Eldians, that you don't want them to be massacred.
Yeah.
Because all the Titans leave, then Marley has, and then they just leave the rest of the Eldians to what? Now they don't even need them anymore. No. They just slaughter them or whatever.
Yeah, so they would all be instantly killed.
It's a really complicated position to be in, and I continue to just reflect on how much they've been able to expand this world beyond what we knew in the first, couple seasons. It's like as soon as we went into that cellar door and we learned more, that world just exploded and it got so much more complicated. Like, to think about the fact that, first couple seasons we were just thinking about, we got to kill Titans. How do we kill Titans?
That's the whole point. Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Let's go.
And now here we are with this it's such a complexity of people inheriting Titans and don't want to inherit Titans. And all these other things.
Before we jump to highlights, we got to talk about our favorite characters ever. And that's Colt. You want to be a Colt fan?
I think one thing I noticed about you recently, that you have started doing this thing where you get attached to very minor characters and then you get devastated when something happens to them. And it's a big blockbuster that came out last summer, and I don't want to spoil it for people, but there was a supporting character who got killed unexpectedly, and it just really stuck with you for like a week after we saw that movie. And I feel like you did that again here with Colt, where he was a minor character, but I don't think anybody thought that Colt was gonna. Not that he's a bad character, but I don't think anybody thought Colt was gonna survive this situation.
I believed in Colt surviving, and but I did want to bring up Colt and Falco because it does represent again the title of this episode, Two Brothers, because it's literally Colt and Falco, with Colt being the older of two brothers. Colt's pleading to Zeke as Zeke is laying there fucked up that, hey, you can't do your yell, at least wait for us to get out of range because a lot of people are going to die, and my brother had the wine, which had your spinal fluid in his mouth. Yeah. He's at risk of becoming a Titan. He's pleading with everything in his soul, please don't do this, Zeke. And Gabby's over there running towards him, but he looks at him, he's like, bro, I'm so sorry that happened, because Zeke knows, like, I don't want anything to happen to these kids. He didn't want anything to happen to those kids, for the most part, except making it so they can never have children themselves. But I don't think he really wanted to kill them, but there are bigger things at stake in his mind for this plan to go off, the euthanasian plan.
Yeah, and also had Gabby and Falco not hopped on that plane and come to the island, they wouldn't have been in that situation. So it wasn't like, I guess he wasn't really thinking about the possibility that, somebody that was really close to him would have had the consequences of being turned into a Titan. But also, like, one monkey don't stop no show. You can't omit your whole plan. And I would even argue, like, how far would he have had to go to not be affected by, to hear the sound of his voice and turn. So it was like, well, do I give you 10 minutes and we over here fighting and all this other stuff? Like, but I understand why, as a sibling, he had to try, because what's going to happen if you don't try. So it's like, I don't blame him. He was marching to his death this whole entire episode and the episode before. So, but I understand, as a sibling, you have to try to save your little brother.
He was clutching his brother to the end.
Yeah, if the situation, I was in that situation, I would have done the same thing. I would have tried everything I could to save my sister. And I know we went back and forth about this earlier, but I would have held on to her too. It's either die with the person you love, or die in the mouth of a Titan. Yeah,
because at that point, once he turns to a Titan, he doesn't believe there's any way for him to change back in the immediate area.
Right.
Like, there's nothing that says, hey, he was gonna eat the Jaw Titan and be able to come at least human again.
Yeah, he didn't know that. He just wanted to try to save his brother.
And it looked like he did suffer the same injuries that Armin did in season 3.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that.
So losing the skin off the top half of your body is probably, for most people, instant death. So I'm gonna hope
I don't think that's an instant death, but he probably died.
He probably did die. I'm hoping he did.
What's worse, dying from getting roasted in the smoke inhalation, probably steamed, or dying from getting eaten, bitten, maybe, hopefully, head bitten off first. Sometimes not. Sometimes you're going feet first. So, I mean, I think he died an honorable death.
Yeah.
You can't say nothing else about him. He died an honorable death.
And then, so we got Falco turning into the long neck Titan.
Yeah.
Freaky ass Titan. But I want to say it brought one of the best scenes, a lot of good scenes in this episode. And we got the episode playing in the background right now, looking at a real good scene. But when Zeke does do the scream, and you just see all the remaining upper brass of the army.
Ooh, yeah.
All just like, it's like they all freeze and they all change into Titans. Yeah. And when we had General Pixis getting that one last sip of wine,
that last drop,
man, might as well it, boy. But they all change into crazed Titans, and they just go wreak havoc on the Marley army that's all out there. They're like, we gotta get the cannons, and they turn around. The dude with the cannons done got ate by a titan. They're like, fuck.
A taste now. I was gonna say a taste of your own medicine, but is the Marley army, is that Marlians and Eldians, or is the army all Eldians?
Marley is all the Marleyan army.
Right, but is it like, is it Eldians mostly in that army? Like, are they serving in the army as second rate citizens? Like, are they people being sitting on the front lines, or is it just Marley?
That's something we would probably have to go back and watch the episode.
Yeah,
because they would have armbands on if they were.
Oh, true.
I can't remember off the top of my head if those people had armbands on.
I don't remember either. Well, I was gonna say I wanted to be sure before I said anything, but it's like, yeah, this is what you do to other people. This is the experience that a lot of other people have had, and now they're having that experience, unfortunately, of being eaten by titans. So
yeah, definitely a reminiscence in that season 1 where Aaron and the gang are going out for their first time facing the titans after they've graduated from the scouts.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, if you've never been on that close to a titan before, I can see a lot of people just freezing up, and also like, what else can you do?
Yeah,
they're all on rooftops or on the street at that point, so it's really nothing to do but to get eaten. So it's like you got the people getting eaten in the background, and then you have all this other drama with the fight with Titan Falco, Reiner, the Armored Titan, and Galliard, the Jaw Titan.
Yeah, well, he gave up. He got out that thing. Pete from the Car Titan, they fucked the Beast Titan up again. They thinking they done, all right, we done killed him. We're good. Smoke's coming up. Reiner let go of Aaron, and he was about to let old boy Falco eat him, nape the neck. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go weak. Let him eat me. He always trying to kill himself, man. He's always trying to commit suicide. He's like, well, this is it. I might as well let him eat me now. And you can never do it. Like, I gotta live again, because Aaron pulled off some crazy shit and used his Harden jumped out his shit and is running towards the Beast Titan, who's just under his pulled the move from the Car Titan from the episode previously.
Right.
Is running right to him. They're gonna meet up. And then old boy, your favorite character in the world, Gabby.
How dare you?
Gabby,
I don't even think it's funny to joke about that.
Tell him Gabby with the 9. She pulled up that I don't know, that long range rifle and blows the fuck out of Aaron's head. And you're like, well, I guess that's it. What we gonna do? Aaron don't got no head. But as you remember, you can store your consciousness in your head enough that it might can recover. Yeah. But his head, luckily, I think that's when it splits to a scene where Zeke and Aaron were talking when they probably first met. When Aaron was pretending to be in the army and just saying, hey, I got a plan. I got this chick named Yelena. She's on the island. Let's roll with each other. And then they're just playing baseball. Aaron missed the ball there. But our man Zeke, when it's time to catch Aaron's head, he don't miss that shit. Yeah, he caught it, and that's when I guess the second part of the episode really takes into place. You have Aaron like waking up in this world of sand and a big light tree in front of him. He turns around. Zeke's like in chains on the ground. Zeke's like, bro, I've been here waiting for your ass for a minute. I've been chilling, boy, and that's when I think they have a good brotherly conversation about their goals and how they think things should go. But Zeke's not having it. Zeke is not.
Yeah, he got a plan for the plan. Everybody got a backup plan and a double backup, and
it was a lot of crossing and double crossing because. Zeke was like, "Hey man, They see Ymir, the original Titan, walking towards them. He's like, "Hey bro, just come over here. We can make this all happen. We're good, man. We finna make this plan happen." And Aaron's like, "I ain't finna do that shit. This is not what I am about."
Yeah, true intentions revealed.
What Armin always believed, like Aaron's not finna do that. That's not his original goal.
Right.
So, and I guess it wasn't. But then Zeke was like, "Oh." Because I guess Zeke was making the perception that he was chained down because people are royal blood. When they get the founding Titan, they get the original.
They become more docile and anti-war and
Yeah, from the original order of the first, the king that went to the island because
Right.
he didn't want aliens. The aliens was fucking up people for 2,000 years,
right.
and he said, "All right, we might have to stop that at least for a little while."
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a pretty good episode. We had Aaron tried to say, "Hey, I'm done with this shit." And then Zeke was like, "Oh, you think you done? No, bruh. I'm done." He break out the chains.
Yep.
Ymir come to him. He like, "Boy, I've been here a long ass time. I know how this shit work. And I don't got the founding Titan, so I'm not bound by the will. I'm not bound by these fucking chains. Let's go."
Yeah, it was a cool scene.
It was a cool scene.
And he still wanted to win Aaron over to his side or to his cause. He still wanted to save his brother.
Up to the end, because it was pretty much just all a test for Zeke.
Yeah, but I think he communicated that he still hadn't given up on Aaron, even though he had failed the test. He still felt it was a way to reconcile Aaron to what get him to see what he saw.
Yeah, because he's just thinking that Aaron's been brainwashed by their father. Their father tried to brainwash Zeke, and now it didn't work. It didn't really work. And Zeke's like, I had a real father, and that's the person who kind of helped him come up with the euthanasia plan and helped him properly get his father and his mother arrested for the plan.
I think it's really hard when you have two people who have such different experiences. Like, even though they came from the same dad and that those roots are the same, I think they had if you think about two different plants, they had two different types of sunlight, they had two different water sources, they had two different environments, they had two different types of obstacles they had to navigate, and it just made two different mindsets and approaches. And I think, Aaron doesn't have he has a little bit of knowledge about what type of world Zeke was raised in, but Zeke doesn't really have any idea of Aaron's experiences and what it was like for so long to just be isolated and not to know about this global stage that they were a pawn in, and to know what that feels like. It's like, oh, we literally were sitting here fighting these things that were our own people that were eating us because y'all sent them to eat us and to destroy our village. And our biggest worry was keeping these walls up, and we didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
And with the type of hate and anger that stirs up in you, and then you finally get some power to take revenge because you've seen the suffering of your people for all this time, unnecessary suffering because some other people's decisions that they made, and they were just sticking waves of Titans on you. I don't think Zeke understands that. I think Zeke is just well, I was oppressed too. I had a hard life too. My dad was abusive too. It was no, sir. You didn't see your mother get, his mama got turned into a Titan. You didn't see your mother get eaten, your house get flattened, all your comrades get eaten and killed, and all this other type of stuff, So I can 100% see why Zeke would be kind of naive enough to think that he could ever get Aaron to agree with him.
Yeah. He never just really got to see and understand Aaron and everything he went through. He just knows Aaron. I think he's basing Aaron off of what his father did to him and how he thinks Aaron's gonna feel. He assumes Aaron's still being brainwashed by his father.
Yeah.
He's using that as a crutch to say, I know my brother. But you don't know him. You don't know his experiences of all the things you said.
And honestly, you have to sit there and think to yourself, you as a Marleyan, an LD and on Marley, that those people there know about the island. And they know what's happening on the island. So it's it's hard to even say you have solidarity with them. Because it's well, why would I have solidarity with you? You knew what was happening to us too. Y'all over there getting brainwashed. Y'all ain't coming to help us.
No.
And of course they're just trying to survive. I think everybody is a victim, whether you're on the island or you're in Marley. They're all just trying to survive, but I don't think it makes it any easier, So yeah, I'm can't wait for next week's episode to see the continuation of everything that happened. It just keeps building and building and building and building.
Yeah, and I think in this episode, it's showing a lot of clues to how it's all connected. Like even with Zeke using his pseudo founder powers because he has royal blood that he can turn anybody with his drinking his spinal fluid into a Titan. It's showing how they're connected, how every person is kind of under the same tree. Everybody's a different branch off the same tree. Like even when Reiner touches Galliard in their Titan forms, there's a small connection that he's able to see the memories. And then when we see them with the founder Zeke and Aaron, we see their memories. We see all the things that happen in Aaron's life, and we even see a couple things from the previous person that had the founding Titan, not his father, but the one before that. When you're going through his memories, so I can't wait to see how it really goes to explain it in anime form of how we're all connected.
Yeah,
that's gonna be real cool.
I love. It's like the final seasons of things. I hate to see a show I really enjoy leave and go away. I know I won't get any new content once the final season is over. But then on the flip side, I love when you get to the final season and all the threads start to come together, and you start to get things just like clicking here and clicking there, and all these pieces falling in line to make, and you're gonna get a good finale. And I think we're definitely on the path to a really, really strong finale for this season 4 part 2.
On the paths, and that's what it is. On the pathways, baby, we getting there.
Yes.
Now, did you have a favorite scene, what you asked earlier from the show today?
I wouldn't say that I had a favorite scene, but I would say I think I had a favorite arc conclude, and that was Galliard, because I think he just always was an interesting character, even though we didn't get to see that much of him. But I think we got, like, last season when we saw the Jaw Titan, or season 4 part 1, we saw the Jaw Titan, and he was so arrogant, and he was like, how dare these gals attack me, don't they know I'm the Jaw Titan? And then he got quickly humbled by Aaron. And then this season we see him back in action. I think it's like interesting to watch him fight. His fighting style and like his presentation as a Titan is really interesting, but then also just to watch him in this episode just kind of be so jaded and bitter and sacrifice his life in that way that he did. I thought he was really interesting for the small amount of time that we got to see him. But he was always just like a really dynamic character whenever he was on screen. So sad to see him go, honestly.
I have so many that I'm running through my head right now, but I wanna. You know what? No, I'm not gonna give it to her. I was about to say Gabby. I'm gonna give it out to Falco in his long neck Titan form, because he was giving Reiner the business. Like,
yeah, he was.
He was surprisingly strong for him to just be at this point a pure Titan.
Yeah,
and not have any other cool techniques. Like it was for a split second he was going 1-for-1 with old buddy.
Yeah.
I like that name, the long neck Titan.
Yeah, that's a cool nickname.
The Gluck Titan.
And so next week it'll be interesting to see, Falco's he's still with us now. He's inherited the Titan. And what that's going to mean next week. Man, I'm going to have to say it. I know you didn't ask me least favorite moment. Any scene with Gabby. I'm starting to accept. I know that they're probably not gonna kill her off, and I'm upset about that. But I guess I just gotta get over it.
Well, do you have a favorite MVP of the episode, Milky MVP?
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Mikasa. She was up there giving them the business on the wall. I love seeing her fight. I love seeing the scouts in action. I think watching them fight with their equipment is like one of the most unique things that I don't want to say in all of anime, but I think it's just a really cool fighting style. And I like seeing them, like, when they're skilled and when they're at best, like seeing Levi, seeing Mikasa. I mean, I could just watch that all day. So I always enjoy seeing them do what they do best and just slice and dice. The cannons are cool, the guns are cool, but it's nothing like just seeing him rip through with those swords.
Oh yeah, swords all there. I want to say my MVP is going to be Zeke this episode.
Yeah.
Zeke was definitely making plays. He had conviction. I enjoyed him saying, "I'm going to do my plan." When he did his yell, he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was.
I messed with you, little buddy, but the plan is bigger than you." And then when Zeke pulled off what the Cart Titan did, one of the previous episodes, pretending to be defeated by jumping out of their Titan and letting it dissolve, and everybody's like, "Okay, we won, we beat it." Pulled that off. Went into the pathway world with the original Titan, and tricked Aaron into thinking like, "Oh, hey, you thought you was gonna double cross me? Nah, I got you. I knew what I was doing."
He did.
Zeke was making plays this episode. I messed with him.
He was making plays. He been making plays. The Yeager brothers is smart.
Yeah.
It's just a question of who is a little smarter than the other. who's a little bit more ruthless than the other. That's what it's gonna boil down to.
Oh yeah, we will definitely get more of that. We will get answers to that. What I assume, based on what I remember from the manga, pretty quickly.
All right, there we go.
Well, thank y'all all for listening. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the episode, and we can't wait for y'all to see y'all next week and talk some more Titans.
And as you would say, keep it milky.
Hey, keep it milky. Bye, y'all.